Because remember now, the question was, where are the rest of the disciples? And Bartholomew walked up smiling, got right in his ear and said, everywhere. Because they were looking for 11. They were looking for 12 disciples or 11 disciples at that time because Judas Iscariot had committed suicide. And so they were looking for the other 11 disciples. And they didn't know that the 11 had became 70. They didn't know that the 70 had became 700. They didn't know that the 700 had became 7,000. They didn't know that the 7,000, yeah, Lord, had became 70,000. And on and on and on. It's like they had went ye therefore and made disciples, like they were making more like themselves. They were being fruitful and multiplying. For real. The question was, where are the other disciples? And Bartholomew couldn't do anything but smile. And he said, they're everywhere. P2P motivation, here we go. A couple of days ago, I was watching this movie, and the movie was called Risen. More like the movie was watching me, because I fell asleep on it. But I picked up on one part as I was in and out of my naps, for real, getting my rest. But I picked up on this one part in the movie where, because the movie was about Jesus, and they had Pontius Pilate or somebody or some governor, I think it was Pontius Pilate, that was researching the crucifixion of Jesus. And so in this movie, Jesus had risen, and they were spreading rumors that somebody had came and stole the body of Jesus. And so they were going around looking for the disciples, and they were trying to figure out where the disciples were at and trying to, build this court case to prove that Jesus hadn't risen, all that type of stuff. Y'all know the story, because we know the real story is that Jesus rose again, like he died on the cross, rose, stayed in the grave 3 days and 3 nights, rose on the third day, and if we believe in Jesus, we have access to eternal life. But y'all don't know the real story. But let's talk about the movie, because I picked up on a part that was like super exciting. Like, I want to say it got me crunk. You know what I'm saying? Got me super excited and got me ready to take on any force that tries to come against us. And so they ended up finding one of the disciples named Bartholomew. And so they found Bartholomew. They brought him to some room, and they started questioning him. And Bartholomew had the joy of the Lord. He was just smiling the whole time, because they were talking about killing him, and he was like, please do it, because I'm not even worthy to be alive. Like, crucify me like you crucified my Lord. He was super excited about facing persecution, but they ended up not killing him. But what they did say was, they asked him a question, and they said, where are the rest of the disciples? And I'm talking about, I wasn't expecting his answer to be what it was, but literally, he walked up to whoever that was questioning him, Pontius Pilate or whoever that was in the movie. Like I said, I'm going based off the movie, not the actual Bible. But whoever that was questioning him in the movie, he walked up to him smiling. And he got right by his ear and he whispered. Because remember now, the question was, where are the rest of the disciples? And Bartholomew walked up smiling, got right in his ear and said, everywhere. Because they were looking for 11. They were looking for 12 disciples or 11 disciples at that time because Judas Iscariot had committed suicide. And so they were looking for the other 11 disciples. And they didn't know that the 11 had became 70. They didn't know that the 70 had became 700. They didn't know that the 700 had became 7,000. They didn't know that the 7,000, yeah, Lord, had became 70,000. And on and on and on. It's like they had went ye therefore and made disciples, like they were making more like themselves. They were being fruitful and multiplying. For real. The question was, where are the other disciples? And Bartholomew couldn't do anything but smile. And he said, they're everywhere. For real. Hopefully that gets y'all as inspired as it did me. Like I said, I was half asleep. And like I said, in and out. The movie was watching me. But when that scene right there happened, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. For real. And I'm so glad that I'm one of those disciples. I'm so glad that the Lord set me free from the things that had me bound. And I want you to be set free from those things as well. Whatever has you bound, you can be free. Whom the Son sets free will be, shall be, and is free indeed. And all you have to do is become one of those disciples. For real. Become one of those followers of Jesus. Become one of those lunatics, one of those people that they think is crazy, one of those people that doesn't blend in with the world. The Bible calls us peculiar. You know what I'm saying? A holy nation, called out of darkness into God's marvelous light, so that we can proclaim the praises of him who called us out of darkness and into this light. We don't take our lamp and set it under the table, but we take our lamp and we set it on top of the table, and we let it shine bright so that people can see our light and glorify our Father in heaven. We are the salt of the earth. You know what I'm saying? And we're not trying to lose our flavor. We're trying to stay like poignant. We're trying to stay stout, or what's the word I'm looking for? We're trying to stay like tasteful. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to stay on fire for the Lord. And we want to be able to say, like when they say they're everywhere, where are the disciples? When they say they're everywhere, I want that to be talking about me as well. You know what I'm saying? And I want to do just like the 11 did, because if the 11 can go and make more disciples in that time when there was heavy persecution, now we live in this country, at least for the ones who live in America and in other places all around the world, there are still places where it's like illegal to talk about the Lord, communist countries and things like that. But in a place like where I live, we can freely tell people about Jesus. We can freely make more disciples. We can freely be fruitful and multiply. We can freely go ye therefore and make disciples. Like I say, that command that God gave to Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply, that was the first great commission. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing was spoken. Like that was a physical example, because we always say that if you're reading the Old Testament and you don't see Jesus, you're not reading it right. You know what I'm saying? Like the entire Old Testament is full of types and shadows. Every single story in the Old Testament is a type and shadow that leads us to Christ. It's all about God. It's all about Jesus. And it's all about these stories preparing us, preparing the world, preparing the lineages and everything for Jesus. And like I say, that type and shadow of God telling Adam and Eve to be fruitful and multiply physically, that was a type and shadow or a symbol of us being fruitful and multiplying spiritually now. Going ye therefore and making disciples. So when they ask us, where are the disciples that you have made? Where are the disciples that you have made in all of your years of following Jesus? You'll be able to say, everywhere. They're everywhere, all over the place. I love it. But with that being said, hopefully y'all were inspired today. Hopefully y'all were encouraged. I want you to unlock purpose. I want you to unlock potential. I want you to maximize every single day, every single second, every single moment, every single minute. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to be great. I want you to win. I want you to prosper. I want you to live an abundant life. So with that being said, we'll just see y'all on the next one. And remember, where are the disciples? Everywhere. See y'all on the next one.